Well, hi, it's Andrew Bell and season's greetings to you. At this time of the year, we're always reminded how quickly the year's gone. It's been a fascinating year in 2022. It's been following the usual path of a transition out of 2 years of real estate boom in which we saw prices growing at their fastest and largest rate in the history of Australia. And we saw the market move into the next phase, which is always price correction. And that's driven by the Reserve Bank seeking to slow down price growth by increasing interest rates. And my goodness, didn't they do that well? And this time with rapid 8 sizable interest rate rises in 8 months, again setting a new record as the fastest and largest increase in interest rates on record. Largely because there has been an outbreak of inflation, and it's something we haven't seen for some 30 odd years. But the good news is we're probably about 85% through those interest rate rises, although we do have to live with the consequences for quite some time to come. But the consequences of high interest rates will have different impacts throughout Australia. The mortgage belt and first home buyers truly feel it, as does those who bought over the past 2 years, unless they were downsizing retirees. Whilst most of the country has already experienced around a 15% drop in property prices, the Gold Coast to date has seen very little. A good percentage of our market and a large percentage of those who bought over the past 2 years have indeed been downsizers and migrators. They've sold their larger properties in the state and relocated to the Gold Coast, pocketing a sizable amount of cash due to the more affordable prices that were on offer here on the Gold Coast. As a result, we've not felt the same degree of price correction, and price adjustment has been modest to say the least. And that's in most segments of the market. Yet we're only at the beginning of the pain that comes from higher interest rates. The true effect of interest rate increases is not really seen until about 6 months plus after the bulk of the interest rate rises have worked their way into the system. It's when month after month people are digging into their already eroded weekly incomes, or, as it happens for most, digging into savings to pay the higher interest rates. That's when people find themselves in significant mortgage stress. And that's when people are forced to sell, or indeed, their bank takes possession and sells their property on their behalf. The Gold Coast will unfortunately get its share of these sad circumstances, but touch wood, will be one of the best performing markets in Australia. We're already getting an insight into why the Gold Coast is holding firm at present, and that is the acute shortage of property on the market for sale. Now, around the country, presently there's been 30.8% less properties for sale in December than what there was at the same time last year. Look at a suburb like Surfers Paradise. Even go back further, dark old days of the global financial crisis, where there were about 2,300 properties on the market for sale in that suburb at any one time. 3 months ago, there was around 500 properties for sale of all types and sizes and price brackets in Surfers. That's now just dropped to some 250 properties. It's not just the shortage of properties for sale, it's also that healthy demand that continues amongst buyers, where we expect to see a continuation of that moving into 2023. But what we'll start to see as we move into 2023 is more forced sellers and perhaps a bit more conservative approach by buyers. And so right now we're faced with the very best selling conditions that we've seen in 2022. With this acute shortage of properties for sale, it's no surprise that the results at auction are as strong as they've been. Our November auctions saw an extraordinary 100% success rate for the month, and our December auctions to date are showing 84% success rate. Now remember the significance of those numbers because of the fact that around the country, typically auction success rates currently are between 30 and 60%. And the success rate of properties listed for private treaty is even much lower. This huge success rate of ours is not only reflecting the better market conditions on the Gold Coast, but dare I say, our expertise in the field of auction, where our accumulated experience over 35 years and the knowledge of now how to operate markets such as this comes to the forefront. So here we are closing out the year, securing auctions for the event 2023. Now, with such incredible shortages of properties for sale, as I mentioned above, I was expecting significant downsize of the volume of properties that we'd have for the event. But we're pleased to see that its reputation as the premier way of selling Gold Coast properties during our peak selling period of the year has attracted an outstanding volume of properties for sale. So, for our buyers, be assured the properties that we are listing are not just people testing the market, but committed sellers will adjust to the market values to make sure their properties are sold in January. Whilst this is the second last e-news of 2022, our last will be on Thursday the 29th of December, in which we will highlight all of the brand new listings to the market and the properties participating in the event 2023. Mark in your diaries not to miss reviewing those listings. For buyers of 2023, it will be the perfect year to buy before the market moves into the next phase, and the opportunity to purchase from sellers more motivated to sell will have been missed. For sellers, we're still open for bookings to be part of the event 2023. We work all through Christmas, taking only Christmas Day off. So we're ready. Give us a call. Details are on screen now to be part of the event 2023. Well, with all of that said, on behalf of myself and my brother Greg and our CEO of Residential, Charles Higgins, I'd like to pass on to you our sincere best wishes for the festive season. I trust you'll celebrate in the way that you truly seek to do so with family and friends, many of we just don't see as often as we'd love to see in the course of a year. And for those with the various forms of faith and a focus on how important this time of year is in that regard, our thoughts are with you as well. Merry, Merry Christmas from all of us at Ray White Service Paradise Group.